introduce Marty LaHood for our chair yoga. Just a reminder for everyone, again, this is a weekly program, so every Thursday at 10 a.m. You can follow us live here. The recordings are also available, so if you're not able to make it at 10, then you are always welcome to watch it whenever is convenient for you. But I'm going to turn it over to Marty here. Welcome.
Hey, how are you guys? Happy Thursday. This is so exciting to do this on a weekly basis. If anytime you can add to your practice, you're going to just feel a ton of benefits. And what better time than now to add to our practice. So I'm going to take this time to tell you to get some props. I know the last couple of weeks we've been taking the opportunity, since we're home, to you could take anything. I like a towel about this big. You could use a belt. I know I used a dog toy one week. You could use a pillow. We're really just going to use it for our arms to make more length between our hands. So you can grab it if you want to right now. If you can find something nearby, that's great too. And then, as usual, just pay attention to what you're sitting on. So for me, I got to plug in my computer. It's just fell out. Pay attention to what you're sitting on. So I'm using my couch. It's very comfortable for me, but it makes my hips lower than my knees, which gives me more tension in my back, which is going to do for anybody. So I like to grab just another one of my cushions and make it a little bit higher for me. So again, that'll create a little bit more ease for our hips here. So go ahead and do that. Take that moment to do that. And if you're sitting on a recliner, a chair, whatever you're sitting on, we're just going to modify. So that's what's nice about being home and being in our own space. So pay attention to your body. Know your limitations. If you're dealing with a lot of low mobility right now, don't worry about it. These are things we can slowly build up to. If there's exercises that we do that your body just isn't feeling or isn't capable of doing at this moment, take that time to come back to our breathing. Again, if we're doing our breathing through this whole hour, that's yoga for us. So we're going to feel benefits for that. We're going to build strength doing those breathing exercises. So take those opportunities that maybe we're doing exercises, whether it's our hips, legs, shoulders, that your body doesn't feel good doing. Take the opportunity to come back to breathing. Okay. All right. So take a moment, get really comfortable in your seat. I'm going to lean this back a little bit so you can get a little more view. Good. All right. So we'll just start off getting really comfortable. Rolling our shoulders, anything that we need to, getting those feet probably hip distance apart. We can lean back into our seat or we can sit up nice and tall, whatever feels better in our body. And then take a moment to just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Long exhale through your mouth. Let that exhale completely empty you out. Find that softness. Just let your body slowly relax. Feel those eyelids get soft. Even the skin on your forehead get relaxed. Feel your tongue drop away from the roof of your mouth. Let your jaw soften. And just notice that natural breath that comes in and out. Noticing how our body just automatically does this job for us. Feeling with every exhale, our body gets softer and more relaxed. Taking this moment to set ourselves an intention for our practice, whether it be for ourselves or for someone else, whatever brought you to this practice right now. We'll take a cleansing breath together. So breathe out. Full breath in. Open mouth, let it go. Go ahead and bring both hands to that low belly, right beneath our belly button. And then start to concentrate that breath in your low belly. So breathe in, fill that low belly. Exhale, pull that low belly in. Every breath, fill that low belly. Exhale, pull that low belly in. Good. Keep on breathing in that low belly. So you want to feel that low belly move as much as possible with every breath. The more we move that belly, the more we're strengthening our core. We're stretching that diaphragm, moving that diaphragm. Even just those muscles that are tense here, that we're starting to help them relax. Never mind the benefits that we're doing for our lungs as we breathe into different parts of our lungs, really exercising and cleaning them out. Good. Now, if you're low in mobility, this is a great place to come to. You're going to find so many benefits to breathing here. Whether it's if you're trying to build up your core, if you're trying to build strength, just even the fact of relaxing our body. Good. Now we're going to move up to that lowest rib here. And again, your option is to lean back if it's more comfortable for you. Now as we breathe in, like fish scales, feel those ribs expand apart. And as you exhale, feel them draw back into each other. Good. Every breath. And then feel them come back in. Good. Let gravity do the work when they come back in, though. Couple more. Feel those ribs expand even into our spine, through our side, not just forward. Good. This is so good for all of those parts of our rib cage, whether it's our sides, our back, even into our sternum. So we're stretching out those muscles and those ligaments that connect to our sternum. We can find a lot of discomfort here. Good. Last one. Breathe in. Perfect. Bring those hands back to your lap, to your knees, wherever's comfortable. Just take a moment to become aware of it. Let the natural breath take over and notice any subtle changes in it. Maybe it's a little lighter, a little longer. And on our next breath in, we're going to reach those arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Big stretch up. Exhale, hands together in front of your heart. 2 more. Breathe in, extend high, open those arms. Exhale, bring it in. Last one, big reach. and out. Perfect. We'll open our eyes, come out and sit up a little bit. We're going to take the squeaker away. I tell you, he doesn't do this until it's like he knows I'm on a Zoom call. So we're going to grab whatever we chose here to give ourselves some length. And we're going to bring those arms out right in front of us. Keep those hands about shoulder distance. Okay. If you need more space, give yourself more space. So if you need it to make them wider, by all means, know your limitations. Okay. I want you to feel good after this class and not be hurting in your shoulders or your back. Okay. So go ahead and bring it out in front of you, and then we'll just reach it all the way up. And then exhale, bring it down. Good. 2 more, just like that. Bring it up. Again, listen to your body. If you have any rotator cuff problems, don't do this. And last one. Good. Sorry about that. Good. Now we're going to bring those arms all the way up, and then we're going to make circles with them. So try to keep those arms straight, but again, listen to your body here. Try to sit up nice and tall. So we don't want to be hunched over like this. So do as good as you can. If that's too much, bend your elbows. Okay. So this is really for our shoulder girdle here. So it takes our whole shoulder and kind of moves it a little bit. You can let your whole body move, like in your hips and everything. Reverse those circles. Good. Good. You got it. Just keep on breathing. Good. And then we'll release. Perfect. We'll give our arms a little break. I know that can be a lot on our arms. So we'll come back to this. So go ahead and leave it like that. And again, come towards the edge of your seat. Know that the back of your chair is always there for you if you need it. From here, we're going to sit up a little bit. Make sure you're positioned well. Feet are hip distance apart. We're going to bring our hands to our knees, and we're going to move our spine now. So as we breathe in, we pull that belly button forward, shoulders back. And as we exhale, we round, pulling that belly button back. Good. Inhale, pull it forward. And exhale it back. Good. Couple more. Find your breath. Any other movements here that feel good, do it. Really good for our spine, for really our whole entire spine, top to bottom. Don't forget to breathe. And last one. And then release. Shake out those shoulders. We're going to roll out those shoulders like we're swimming, one shoulder at a time. Reverse that circle. Good. And then release. Arms out nice and wide. And then we're just going to bring, let's do the left hand first. Really whatever hand's first for you. And then bring it in. And we're just going to kind of hug that arm. Okay. And again, you're going to feel that whole entire shoulder girdle behind you start to pull and stretch here. Okay. Don't forget to breathe. Sit up nice and tall. And release. Shake it out a second, and then arms back out and open, and then switch. Hug that arm in. Just put them in the cage. Good. Again, don't forget to breathe. Sit up nice and tall. And release. Perfect. Now we'll really give those arms a break. We'll move into those legs. So again, adjust yourself as you need. feet hip distance apart. We're going to move into those legs. So options here. Ideally, we're bringing that ankle on top of our knee. For a lot of us, that might be a lot. I'm doing my left leg first, but as long as you switch sides, that's fine. Options is you can keep that right leg straight, even completely straight, and you could bring it on your ankle. You could bring it all the way up. You can even hold it here. You can even use that towel or whatever we use to hold it up there. Then you could start to slowly bend that knee. But as soon as you start to feel any pressure in this knee, too far. Keep those toes flexing back. It keeps that knee nice and strong. And again, try to sit up tall rather than round. This is a lot for your body. You can even lean back because you're probably still feeling it in that. So a lot of us, we're going to feel it in our butt and our back. Some of us will feel it on our inner thigh. All of it's right. Just means where you're tight at. So you can stay here. If you feel like you have a lot of flexibility, you can lean into it a little bit. Now, if you have your knees further up, take a moment just to try and open it up. Really important for us to stretch these muscles. It has a lot to do with that sciatic nerve giving us problems, a lot to do with our back, any low back problems, any tension we feel here. So an important thing to do to our hips as well. So it's very rare that we're ever opening that hip joint in this direction. So really good just to keep that lubrication of that hip joint moving here. And then breathe. Just breathe. And slowly you'll feel that you can fold a little bit further into it. And again, just listening to your body. It's too much. Good. And then slowly release. Good. Just shake that leg out a little bit. You can really feel the difference in that hip, even in towards your butt. And we'll switch. Right ankle on top. Again, you could always lengthen that bottom leg and start here. You could use that towel again to pull it up. So we always typically will find one side that's harder than the other. For me, this is that side. And same thing, just breathe. You can slowly open up that hip a little bit. You can start to fold into it. Two more breaths. Don't forget those breaths are important here. And then release. Good. Shake out that hip again. Perfect. Now we're going to bring our feet a little wider than hip distance here. Okay. You can adjust it as you need. So it's just more about stability than on how it's placed. We're going to bring that right elbow towards our right thigh. So just like we're leaning in. And for some of us, we're going to feel that right off the bat. We're going to feel it right here. If you feel it here already, you're tight here. That's just a roadmap to what we should be stretching then. So just concentrate on it. Maybe you stay here for this. Options, if you're not feeling it here yet, maybe you open that arm up to the ceiling because that's going to lengthen this whole part of your body. And you can do whatever you want with your neck here. You can look forward, you can look up. Really, it's just about what feels good for you. You can even take that arm and reach it further off to the right. Just try and make sure that left hip doesn't lift here. So that's really what it's going to try and do. So try to keep that left hip pressing down as we're reaching it. One more breath. And then release. Come all the way up, shake it out. And then we'll switch left elbow, left thigh. And then here, stay here. And again, you might feel it on this side more right here, and that's fine. Match how it feels compared to how it looks. So you might need to just stay here. Or you can do that and add up. Find that length. You could reach it. Again, whatever feels right for your body. So, and pay attention to when we do an exercise and it's intense at the lowest level. Again, that's great because it gives you a roadmap of where you're going to feel the most difference if you spend some time on. It's telling you where you need to stretch. So sometimes being non-flexible is a gift because people who are flexible, they're never being given that roadmap. One more breath. And then release. Good. Shake it out a little bit. Perfect. We'll give our upper body a little break again. And from here, we're going to go move into those feet. So we're going to take that right leg and we're going to reach it all the way forward. Good. So my toes are pointing up. That right leg's pretty straight. So move on that chair so that feels good. And then we're going to flex those toes back towards our face and then forward. I know you probably can't see my toes, but this is what they're doing. Good. So good. So you're probably feeling a lot of creaks and cracks in your ankle and your toes. That's perfectly fine. This is really good for our muscles around our knee. It's building strength for them. So it helps to keep that knee exactly where it needs to be. And just back and forth. And then from here, we're going to move circles. So I'll move my foot up so you can see it. Just big circles. Again, some more creaks and cracks. Now try to keep your body upright rather than letting your body roll here. We're really going to work on that posture for this next hour. Reverse those circles, so go the other way. Go ahead, flex those toes up and back. Little bend in that knee, just enough so that we're not hyperextending. So just a little bit of a bend. Bring those hands to that left thigh. And especially that nice tall posture here, we want to concentrate on that low belly, pressing into that thigh just a little bit. Good. So we don't want to round here because we're not going to feel it in the back of that right leg. Perfect. So here we're just stretching the back of that right thigh, that hamstring. Those hamstrings are in charge of a lot of things. For walking, standing up, doing stairs, getting ourselves off the ground. And if they're too tight, they're going to limit us here. So keep them nice and stretched is important. Good. Go ahead and release. We'll stay on this leg. So what we're going to do with that leg is we're just going to step it off to the side. So we're just going to take it and go. Now, if we need to move in our chair, that's fine. If we're in a chair with arms, we're going to have to move our body as much as we can this way. Okay? So I just want you to get that foot off. Again, that left leg can open up a little bit this way. And now you're going to feel that same stretch in our inner thigh here. Okay? Now try not to let yourself lean too far back because you're not going to feel it. So try to sit up as long as you feel that stretch right in that inner thigh. It's exactly where you need to be. Good. That foot, that right foot can be rolled all the way down. Those toes can be pointing up. They can be pointing away. Try all of them and see where each one of them is going to make you feel in a different part of that muscle. So find out where you're tight. And breathe. Good. Sit up tall. Good. We're going to add to it. So if this is intense for you already, stay here. Otherwise, we're going to take that right hand, tall posture, and we're just going to walk it down just around the knee or maybe lower. Again, depending on where you're feeling it. Because I want you to feel it now pull on that outer left hip. Okay, so kind of like into that back. God, one of my favorite ways to really stretch out these muscles is muscles that are really achy first thing in the morning. I always feel like I have to massage, or if you're sitting for long periods of time. So this is a great way to stretch it out. It doesn't take much. Good, now you can stay here. If you want to add to it, you can reach that left arm up. Again, that just forces that whole left side to lengthen here. Don't forget to breathe. Last breath in. And release. Good, come back to your seat. Any wiggles that you need to take them. And then we'll switch. Go ahead and take that left leg and just bring it forward. Again, toes point up. And then we're going to take those toes forward and back. Just back and forth. Sit up tall. Okay, back and forth. Now we're going to make those big circles. So just nice big circles. Feel all those creaks and cracks. Reverse those circles. Good. Go ahead and release it. Toes flex up and back. Little micro bend in that knee. Okay. Hands come to that right thigh. Sit up nice and tall. And then we'll just lean a little bit forward. Good. So no folding forward here. Good. You're not going to find any benefits of this pose if you're starting to round forward. A little stretch in that left thigh. And same thing. Just feel that same intensity. You can really lean into it. Don't forget to breathe. I even have to remind myself that. Last breath. And then release. Good. Come all the way up. Staying on that leg, we'll just step that leg off to the left side. And again, modify depending on what you're sitting on. Okay, so you can kind of turn a little bit more to the right. Toes can be pointed up. They can be pointed out. That outer edge can be rolled down. Wow, I feel this so much on this side. So this feels different than the other side. As long as you're feeling that intensity in that inner thigh, that's exactly where you need to be. So these muscles on us are so tight because we're in constant flexion of these muscles, always keeping our knees towards each other, keeping our legs together, driving, walking. We're really constantly using these muscles. So these are important for us to stretch out. Even putting on clothes, we need these muscles to be flexible because we're opening those muscles out. So if you feel restricted in those, a lot of times it's because of that flexibility. Strength is so important for our bodies, but so is flexibility. So if you've ever seen, maybe a huge bodybuilder that can't get their arms behind their back or can't touch their hair, and again, there's not all of them are like this, but sometimes it's because they don't have flexibility. They just have strength. So it is something that we do need to build both for. It's most often looked over. Here we go. Go, we'll sit up nice and tall. We're going to add to it. So if you feel good here and it's already enough, you can stay here. Otherwise, we're going to take that left hand to that left thigh, and we're just going to reach it down a little bit. Okay. Again, just feel that nice little pull in that inner thigh. I'm popping up my computer. Here we can extend that right arm all the way up. Really feel it in that right hip. Again, that gaze can be up, it can be forward, whatever feels right in your neck. But breathe. God, and we'll come all the way up. Shake it out a little bit. Wiggle those hips out. Perfect. We're going to keep on wiggling those hips out. We're going to bring those feet hip distance apart, and we're just going to roll here. It's almost like we're a belly dancer. We're just going to sit on our butt and just roll our body. As little or as much as our body will allow. Good. Good. I'm feeling creaks and cracks in my hips right now. Like good ones, though. Good. Reverse those circles. And come back to center. Perfect. We're going to reset. So big breath in, reach all the way up. And exhale it in. Good. Connect to that breath here. Big breath in as you open. And exhale. Good. Let it feel good. Let it feel like a big stretch. I said stretch. Good. Relax those shoulders. Perfect. We're going to bring those shoulders up towards our ears. Exhale, roll them down and back. 2 more. Breathe them up. And down and back. Perfect. Last one. Reach them. And release. From here, we'll take those hands. We're going to reach them all the way up. So as high as you can above your head. I'm just going to bring them down here just so you can see them. If this is too much, you can bend the elbows a little bit. Tight little balls with our hands and then almost violently open them up. Good. Back and forth. Good. Perfect. So here we're getting that lymphatic system moving. We're getting that blood to move from our fingertips. We help some of that inflammation we feel in our hands and our fingers, especially this time of year. So really good for us. Because those fingertips are always below our heart. So a lot of junk just settles into them. And then release. I know, it really tires out your arms too. So we'll give them a little bit of a break. Okay. All right. So we're going to settle in with our feet hip distance apart. Sit up nice and tall. Hands back onto our thighs. We're going to move that spine. Breathe that belly forward. And then exhale, round it. Breathe in. And exhale. Good. 2 more. And release. I had to get my dog out of the picture. I swear, he's so good. And second, he thinks that I'm doing some kind of Zoom or video conference. He thinks that, he's the puppet of the show. So he feels the need to get into it, and then he always seems to get a squeaky, like the noisiest toy in my house, and find it, and then wants to do it in front of the, he's pretty extra. It's pretty extra. So hopefully it's nice and quiet now. Good. All right, from here, we're gonna move back into our legs. So again, depending on how you're sitting or what kind of chair you're on, it's gonna have a big factor in it. So ideally, you're going to turn all the way to the right, okay? All right, so I'm on a couch, so it's kind of funky for me a little bit being on a couch. This is almost something that would feel probably better in a chair. And then from here, we're gonna take that left leg and we're gonna try to reach it behind us, like straight behind us. So you can really lean into the couch if you want here. If you're in a chair, you can just lean forward. If you have an actual armrest, just lean as much as you can into the armrest for a moment without hurting yourself. And then scooch that left leg back even a little bit further. So once you have that leg back, try to straighten that leg, not completely, but just that feeling of straightening that leg a little bit. You're gonna feel it in the front of that hip. Perfect. Good, so this might be enough for a lot of us. This is a really important muscle to stretch because you're gonna feel it really from the front of your thigh through the top of that hip, even further. And this is really in charge of it affects our posture. So when these muscles are really tight, they pull our hips forward, making a tall posture really hard. Okay, so stretching these out are gonna make that tall posture feel easier for us. Good, now we can stay here if this is enough for us. We can also try and lift our shoulders on top of our hips. We're gonna feel it a little bit more intense. Good, now if we're here, if we really feel like we have those hips, those shoulders on top of our hips, we can add to it. We can extend that left arm all the way up, and then you'll notice how that lengthens all of this again. We can even try to high five behind our chair. But again, don't collapse here. And breathe. Good. Bring that hand back down. Lean back forward into that thigh or that armrest, and then release. Good. Come back towards center. Wiggle it out, and then we'll just switch sides. So same thing for you. However you did on that side, turn all the way. We're going to reach that right leg back as far as we can. Lean into it. Move that leg, wiggle that foot back as far as you can get it, and then stay here. If this feels like it's enough, as long as you're feeling that stretch here, perfect. If you want to add to it, you can start to lift those shoulders on top of your hips. Don't forget to breathe. Good. And then slowly release. Go ahead and reach yourself forward, undo that foot, and then come back to center. Good. Any wiggles out of your body that you need, go ahead and take them. All right, feet are going to be hip distance apart. They can be wider for stability if you need it, so just make sure you adjust yourself as you need. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to take that left hand, and we're going to reach the outside of our left hand to the outside of our right thigh. Okay, that right arm can reach behind us, but no rounding. Again, nice and tall. And then I want you to press that hand into that knee and that knee into that hand. Good. Little just twist. You can bring your gaze anywhere that feels comfortable. But again, keep pressing, otherwise they're going to collapse. And then release. Good. Nice and tall. Right hand, outside of right hand, outside of left thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Okay, so you might even just get those fingertips there. And then press. And breathe as you keep that spine nice and tall. And release. We're going to reset here. So breathe in, reach up, connect with that breath. Two more. Connecting that breath to your movement. The longer your breath, the more time you have to flow through it. Release. We're going to work into that rotator cuff. So we're going to bring those elbows, pin them into your sides and keep them there as much as possible. And then we're going to take our hands and then tight our big little circles here. So ideally you're doing big circles, but if you feel any tension in that rotator cuff, make those circles tinier. Good. So this does a lot for that rotator cuff. It stretches out all of the muscles of our rotator cuff. There's 13 that make up that rotator cuff. If you've ever had problems with that rotator cuff, you know how intense that feeling can be. So 13 of these muscles here, we're moving all of them. We're stretching all of them. Which you will feel, a lot of people, I feel immediate release from it. Okay. And then reverse those circles. And they don't need to be fast. And then you don't want to get those elbows moving here. You just want those hands. And even if you did this exercise and held onto that shoulder, you would feel some little muscles in here move. Okay. All right, pin those elbows into our sides. We're going to bring those palms really wide open. And then we're going to reach those arms all the way up, pulling those arms behind us. Reach up, and then like we're pulling a bar all the way down. Keep those arms wide, chest moving forward, and then try to bring those elbows back behind us. Perfect. Breathe in, reach it up. And exhale it down. One more. Breathe it up. And down. And release. Good. Release those shoulders. We're going to grab that towel or whatever we grabbed at the beginning of class. This is going to give us extra length to stretch out our pectoral muscles and our shoulders. Really everything along our collarbone. So we're going to bring that behind us. And again, bring it as wide as you need. So, you know, for me, mine's a little wider than shoulder distance. Okay, you can see it. You know, if you need more than this, it just means your shoulders are really tight. Those pectoral muscles are really tight. So give yourself that length that you need. It's something you can slowly build up to. So again, here, it's really important that it's not making us round forward, because then we're not stretching out those muscles. We're just modifying so that we can get our hands behind our back. So I want you to try and pull your chest forward, roll those shoulders back, sit up nice and tall, and you'll feel it. Now you can keep your arms just kind of relaxed behind you. If there's something that it can relax on, you can keep them lifted. You're going to feel a little bit more. And again, listen to what your body needs right now. We're just going to sit up nice and tall and breathe. Now you can be taking those breaths in your nose and out your mouth. If it feels better. You can be taking those breaths in and out of your nose. It'll help you build a little bit more heat. And it has its own benefits as well. But listen, if you have sinus problems or if you're congested, take those breaths however you can get them. So there's no wrong way to breathe. Just breathe. Full breaths, full exhales. Perfect. Last breath here. And then release. Good. Release those arms, those shoulders. So again, really important muscles we just stretched, those pectoral muscles, even into our arms a little bit that attach to those pectoral muscles. When they're really tight, they pull everything in the front of our body forward. And again, make that posture really hard to keep. We use these muscles for everything we do, for driving, for reading, for lifting things up, pulling things off of a shelf. Everything we do, we are using those muscles. So stretching them out, giving them a lot of love can help a lot of tension that we carry here in our back, okay? All right, sit up nice and tall. Feet hips distance apart. We'll go back to move our spine just to kind of reset our whole back. So hands on those knees. Inhale, pull that belly forward. And exhale, round. Good. Keep on breathing. Last one. Good, sit up nice and tall. We'll reset with our hands. Breathe in, connect to that breath. Two more. Good, last one. Breathe in. And release. Shake out those shoulders, shake out those legs, whatever feels good. Perfect. So here, a lot of options for this one. We can stay seated, nice and tall. We're on a couch or on a chair that reclines. We can even lean ourselves all the way back for it. But again, listen to your body. So being seated can sometimes be a little bit too much if we're really tight here. But maybe we're not in a place that we can just lay back. So if it's not perfect for you now, something to try in bed later. Again, it's really opening these muscles out and our shoulders. So we'll bring those hands behind our head, behind our neck. So, and I want you to press that neck into your hands. So you're gonna kind of give yourself this double chin. I know, it's great. Okay, so this is really good for that spot, that neck here, that we're supposed to have that perfect S curve in our cervical spine here. But as we get older, or as we do something constantly that's repetitious, like looking down, reading our phones, reading a book, that S curve starts to go away. So it's really what keeps our head feeling like it's too heavy for our body. Okay, so curl that chin in and then try to bring those elbows wide. And again, this is something good to do while you're laying down because it doesn't take much of our muscles to do. If you're doing it sitting up here, you'll notice that it does take some strength to be here. So don't overdo it. Last breath here. And then release. I feel that a lot, so I'm really tight in these shoulders. And for me, that natural S curve of my neck is starting to slowly go away. I'm definitely looking on my phone and reading too much. So it's really good for your neck to keep that neck